What's happening, financial coaches? It's Pete here. I want to talk to you about the time I was nervous doing financial coaching as a veteran. And so I know a lot of people talk about imposter syndrome. They're worried about getting into a coaching session. They're worried about being asked something they don't know. And that happens to all of us. But I want to tell you that, for a few years when I started out as a financial coach, I wasn't even in financial wellness. It was strictly financial coaching. And, I did a few years of training and I worked a couple of years, doing kind of frontline financial coaching as part of my job. So I had a pretty good experience. And then as I kind of backed away and was doing more program development and stuff like that, as we were launching another program, with another company, I got back to financial coaching. And, part of this was to kind of handle everything grassroots. It's kind of like starting up a business, and you got to do the front office, the back office, the customer service, the logistics, the whole nine yards. And so I was going to do some more coaching again. And so I went through some coaching training. And I'll tell you what, even though I had done a few years of actual financial coaching, I had been a financial advisor for 7, 8 years before that. So I knew personal finance pretty well. I had a pretty good rapport with people. I could pretty much go into any situation. I could do education. I could work with people on an individual level or speak to a group, whatever it might be. And yet, when you go back through some training, when you go back and have someone observe you and you start doing some role playing or mock calls or whatever it might be, it can be nervous. And it's funny because I just remember, as someone who's experienced, someone who was hired because of my experience, going back and taking that first financial coaching call after maybe a year of not taking any calls was a little nerve wracking, not paralyzing, but it's one of those things where, let's say, you feel nervous. Maybe you feel like you've taken a ton of training. Maybe you feel like you have some experience. Maybe you don't feel like you have any experience. Maybe you're just brand new to this whole thing. Maybe it came from an industry other than personal finance. It's okay to be nervous. I know that I was, and it didn't take me long to start feeling comfortable with it and just finding my cadence. I think the tendency was to kind of fall back on the training, which is fine, but it has some of those really interrogative questions. What is it about your past that makes you feel this way? When was there a point in your life where you felt like you had a handle on this or you were successful with this and stuff like that? And you can just kind of fall back on some of these training techniques that you get. But for me, it's you find your legs pretty quickly. And so you just need to get into more of them. And especially as you're building a business, if you're not in a program that is going to provide you coaching clients on a regular basis, there might be some big spaces in between. So it's not uncommon to feel nervous about it, especially if you have a client, this month and you don't have a client for another few months or whatever it might be. It's okay to feel nervous, even if you have experience. I do. And, there's times when I get a new client and I'm just like, hey, I want to do a good job. And, and I really probably shouldn't sweat it too much, but I do. And I think that's partially because we care, because we want to provide value, because we want to give our best every time. And so it's okay to be nervous, embrace it, learn from it. It helps heighten your awareness, and I think makes you want to continue to improve. So nothing wrong with it. I do it. Hopefully you do it. I'll tell you what, if you don't feel nervous sometimes, maybe it's a sign that you should go back and reassess. Maybe there are things that you need to learn because you're, I don't know, too proud. You think you know everything. No one ever does. So, all right, that's it. I'll see you later.